taboo days with no experience, no boundaries, no idea what to do with yourself. When you get in these situations, you're going to panic. If you never had a panic attack before, you'll have one on one of these days. Be on the wrong side of CPI and your stop loss didn't work and it's still going up against you. You're going to know exactly what panic attack feels like. Your broker ain't going to help you. They're not going to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Philip. That market was so fast. Here, we're going to give you an exit at your stop loss. We're going to honor that. The fuck they are. They're not going to do that at all. They'll probably be booking you anyway. They want that maximum loss because they're going to keep it. That's the reality of the business. But when you have these symptoms, one of the breathing exercises that I do is I sit still. I usually get on the floor and I sit in what is referred to as seiza. It's a meditative state. I'm sitting there and I relax myself and I try to let my core, which is like the center of your spine, become real heavy and let it rest and let it go lower. What you're doing is you're relaxing your hips, you're relaxing your lower back, and you pull your shoulders back so they're square, and you pull your chin in so everything's perfectly aligned. And you relax yourself and you take a deep breath, blow it out. Do that 3 times. And then now on the 4th one, you're going to take a deep breath in. And then when you think you have taken in your full breath, there's always a little bit more room to suck in more air. Do it. Hold it. Hold it for 5 to 10 seconds. You probably won't be able to do it. But then you let your air come out naturally. You don't force it out like breathing out hard. Just let it fall out. 5 seconds before you do it again. You do that 3 times. Number 1, your blood pressure is going to drop immediately. Immediately, that corrects blood pressure. Immediately. And because you're doing it multiple times, 1 minute will have passed. And because you're focusing on your breathing and you're bringing in oxygen and you're not blowing out all your CO2. See, when you hyperventilate or you start seeing stars, you feel like you're going to pass out. When I was younger and I had my first panic attack while I was in the market, I thought for sure I was going to drop dead. Because I was hyperventilating. I didn't realize I was hyperventilating at the time. It felt like I couldn't breathe, but I was just breathing too much and too fast. And I was blowing out CO2. So your oxygen-rich blood is too much. And you'll start seeing stars, and all of a sudden you'll have these body tinglings and sensations. And that's all normal. It just means that you just got to slow your breathing down. And that's why you see people that would breathe in a paper bag, because they're bringing in too much oxygen. So it allows their blood levels to regulate. So CO2 becomes at optimal levels with their oxygen level. And then you'll be able to be comfortable, and then you won't panic and scare yourself anymore. So I used to keep a paper bag next to my desk. And if I felt those symptoms, even before I felt them full on, I would just do that. That was my realization that breathing was a real core issue to keeping yourself balanced and focused. It's meditative. And you can meditate while trading. You can meditate while you're doing these things. It manages the emotional tug of war that every trader feels. I don't care who you are, you still will feel that. And these are the things I'm managing. Because I have bipolarism. Like, I swing from one spectrum to the next instantaneously. And sometimes on really bad days, I'll go from one extreme to the next in a matter of minutes. And you don't want to be around me. You do not want to be around me. My family members know this about me. They know my tendencies. They can see it. They can usually hear it coming. And it's very, very hard to manage. And I will not ever take medicine. But when I'm in the market, it allows me to be very focused, very, very focused, because I have my mind on one thing. What is that next price going to do? And I can't panic. I can't have intrusive thoughts coming in. That's why when you hear me talking when we're doing live streams, I'm boring the fuck out of you, because I'm in my element. Like, I know this. I know this stuff. And because it allows me to focus all of my attention, I can't have anything that would cause me anger. I can't have anything, unless I'm talking about shit that would trigger me. Like in these spaces where I allow myself unfiltered, where I'll say something that gets me either entertained and I want to make a joke about something that people will say either about me or themselves, or if I see something that's absolutely bullshit and I talk about it, it enrages me. So I get to that point or that extreme. And then obviously you've heard me talk about things that are very emotional because I'm a human being. I've had loss, I've had pain, I've had real things happen in my life and my family. And I've had really good things that are emotional too. And you've heard me weep and cry, and I have no shame in that. I'm a human being. You want to have those experiences. It makes life much more enrichment of those experiences being in a part of it. But you can have these taboo days take you into a level of panic and fear and paralysis, and you won't know what to do. You won't know what to do. So that's the reason why I told my students, don't trade on FOMC, don't trade on non-farm payroll, don't trade ahead of CPI, don't trade on Mondays. Because if you're brand new, you don't know what's going to happen when you get in that situation. Now, don't take this Twitter space discussion today as a means of, okay, well, I know how to do it. He just equipped me to do it. No, you didn't learn anything from that then. What I'm saying is your breathing is the beginning of every panic attack. And it's also the end of every panic attack. I had the highest form of anxiety after September 11th in 2001. Like I believe the news, I believe all that stuff. And I was always fearful that my family was in danger. And, I bought into that bullshit. It caused a lot of agoraphobia. And because I had to live two different lives hiding from a gold digger, it just compounded everything. So I would have panic attacks almost every week that literally would send me to the emergency room. Either I was driving there, running red lights, speeding. How I got there without killing anybody or hurting the vehicles is a miracle. But as soon as I got there, it would stop. Because in my mind, I was in a safe place. And you need to do that in your trading. You need to make your trading in your model your safe place, your home. You're home if you're trading your model. You're not at home trading somebody else on a live stream trying to copy them. I can't imagine the level of fucking fear and anxiety that would cause because you're watching somebody. You don't know the delay's going to come in. You don't know if the connection's going to stay on. I'm gonna trade this guy. He's doing this. He thinks it's going to go up here. He thinks it's going to go down here. And then you're going to take a trade on that. No idea why that person is saying it's going to go here. You don't know if they're really taking a trade in a paper account, practice account, live account. You don't know if they actually entered it at all. And now you're in there. What constitutes holding it? Them saying they still like it when it's moving against them? And all of a sudden you start seeing them turning into a comedy show. Oh, well, you're losing real money. It doesn't feel like a joke to you. You're having anxiety attack. You're having fear grip you in a manner you've never felt before. And you feel powerless. And you don't want to close it because what happens if that guy's right? And then I didn't make any money. I got out when it was a losing position. And then I'm going to hear him say, oh, you dumb fucks, you didn't make any money today. Look at you. You're all losers. You're brokies. It's very important to guard your mind. Very, very important. And if you let bullshit in, you're going to get that out in your results. You have to be focused. You have to be centered. You have to have complete and utter control over yourself. And I can't do that outside of things that keep me focused on a chart. Or if I'm talking about the word, they're the only two discussions, the only two topics that would keep me from having wild swings. I'm chemically imbalanced. And I can't always keep those things in control. But I've learned over my life that those two things are the ones where I can do the most in terms of keeping balanced. Now, after I get a winning trade, I feel like a peacock. In the beginning, my wife would be like, man, whatever, get the hell away from me. Now she understands it's therapy. Okay, I go down there and I'll look at her and she's like, what did you do? And then all of a sudden I'm doing the Mick Jagger. I'm prancing around and shit. She's like, whatever. She'll either give me a kiss or whatever, something to that effect. But the point is you have to have some kind of way of releasing, whether it's the great part of being profitable, or accepting the losing trade. If I have a losing trade, no problem. I go and remove myself from the charts. I have to have at least 10, 15 minutes away from it. I have to take a break from it. Unless I know it was right then and there, it was just me having an ill-placed stop loss, or I moved the stop loss too quickly and it burns me. If I knew right then and there I did it wrong as the operator and everything's still good, I'll enter right then and there. But if I take the stop loss and I don't feel certain that I'm still right about my analysis, I physically leave my room. I physically go either outside or I go to another part of my room or house. I can't be in the trading room, because at that moment, my tendency is I want to smash the fuck out of the marketplace. I want to exact revenge. See, you think that I'm calm, cool, collected, Dr. Jekyll. But when I take a losing trade, I'm fucking Mr. Hyde. Like, I'm Jack the fucking Ripper. I want to slash and gut a motherfucker. Like, I just really want to just unload. But I can't think clearly like that. So I have to reset myself 10, 15 minutes away. It does not matter if I miss a move. If I come back and I miss something, it's okay. I know how to get into another move. I got 81 ways. I got a lot of problems, and mental issues, but getting into a trade ain't one of them. I got 81 fucking ways to do that. And if the trade's there, I will get in there. But I have to separate myself from that torn wrestling match of, I got to get it back. I got to be right. I got to be perfect, because that's my pursuit. That's the plague in me. I'm pursuing perfection, and I know I will never obtain it until I leave this body. But I can't obtain it here. But it doesn't change or deter the pursuit of perfection. And when I incur a loss, I go into a fucking savage mindset, and I can't think clearly. So one of the rules and boundaries I place on myself, and this is exactly what you don't have yet as a new trader, why you should not be trading on these taboo days, because you don't know yourself. I do know myself. I know exactly how I can derail myself. I know exactly when I'm going to do the things that would have led me to blowing an account like I did when I was 20. But you don't have the experience to understand that about yourself. And some of you have blinders on. You don't want to pay attention to the characteristics you're showing over and over and over again, which you would see if you were honest in your journal. You don't want to journal. It's too fucking uncool. All the cool guys on YouTube and Twitter says journaling's for bitches. These motherfuckers are broke, telling you they don't journal. Everybody that treats this like a business in one shape or form, they journal. Whether you like to believe it or not, it is what it is. I don't know why everybody has this thing about, journaling, that's for geeks. It doesn't work, it's for nerds. Really? If you're running a business, they have KPIs, baby. Okay? KPIs. Every Fortune 500 company has KPIs. They are measurements. And you have to make sure that you have a KPI measurement on your trading. What's the Top Step just introduced those types of things for traders to evaluate what they're doing. Wonderful addition. Wonderful addition to those pursuing that funded account challenge. Because it gives you metrics. That way you can measure things. And they should be fucking private. I don't know why people go on there and they screenshot that shit and say, here you go, boom. Because you're looking at outward. I just saw the time. I got to wrap this up in 3 minutes. If you take your KPIs or your stats as a trader and you put them on the internet, okay, here's what's happening. You are asking outside audience members that may or may not have any real interest in you becoming a better trader. Many times they don't want to see you be a better trader. Okay, that's the vehicle that social media was instituted to cause division. It's not for networking. It's only been instituted as a way to make us go at each other. That's what it's there for. Okay, and that's how it's used. Now, you might have good relationships and you may network and you make a business out of it, all that stuff. That's wonderful. But if you take your KPIs, your stats as a trader, and you put them on the internet, what you're saying about yourself is you can't grow without having someone else co-sign your growth. You need to have someone else give you an affirmation. Oh, you're the GOAT. Oh, I want to trade like you. And what you're doing, you don't realize it at the time, but what you're doing is you're establishing this pathway where you're only satisfied if people are sucking you off on the public. If they're out there kissing and licking your ass and saying you're the GOAT, you are going to do trades to try to upstage the last time you did it. And that is not what a professional trader does. They don't give a fuck what anybody else thinks. They don't give a fuck how much somebody else made or how much they lost. They don't give a shit. All they care about is, are they following their model? Are they minding their own fucking business? Because when I make money, you ain't spending it. When I lose it, you're not giving it back to me and putting a Band-Aid on it and fixing it for me. It's all me. And there ain't a trader walking this planet that's better than me. I don't need to put that shit on the internet. You don't either. And when you do that stuff, you are taking yourself off the clearest, shortest path to excellence. When you do that kind of stuff, you've elevated the game so prematurely. You've now made it about being relevant instead of being consistently profitable, working with your model and keeping your KPIs, your business stats as a trader private. That's how you have the excellence of growth, maturity as a trader. All of these people out there demanding that you do this and do that. You know what that is? That's them sucking. And they just want to see, oh, somebody else is miserable, just as miserable as I am. I'm not saying there aren't people out there that can share their stats and their accomplishments, and they're just sharing because they were either asked to do so and they don't have any real intentions outside of just saying, okay, I'm part of the community. They asked them, I'll share it to you. I'm not bragging. I'm not saying I'm better than somebody else. I'm just saying you asked for it and here it is. But largely what you're seeing in the industry's social media community in terms of trading, anytime someone shows stats, 90% of the time they're bullshit. They're fake. Or they're doing so and they may have earned those stats realistically and for real, genuinely. And they may not be that long in trading, but they don't know the damage that they're doing because they're creating Olympic size feats in terms of, well, I got a lot of likes on that because I made 20% last month in my trades. And I had a 90% success rate and my drawdown was only this. And my risk to reward model, rating was this and that. What you're doing is you're taking your eyes off of the main focus, which is following your model and becoming bored in that model. You don't want to have any invitation for elevated cortisol and adrenaline in your trading. You need to keep that at bay. And the only way you can do that is by keeping your progress private. That's how you do it, folks. That's the secret to it. Because as soon as you invite other people to critique it, you can make a fucking $1,000 every hour and have 100% strike rate. Somebody's going to come out there and talk shit about you. And it may be legit. You may be able to do all those things and have the receipts to prove it. And there's still going to be people coming out there saying you're full of shit, you're a fake, you're a fraud, and it's photoshopped and it's all horseshit because they can't live in their own skin.